All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Off Court Podcast, our fifth episode, the paddle podcast covering all your paddle needs. We are your hosts, Hugh and Connor. Thank you for joining us today. We're back after the Christmas break. Happy New Year to all of you. Happy New Year, Connor. Hope
Thank
you
you very
had
much.
a great start to your 2025. We're bringing you a bit of a different video today. There's no Premier Paddle, no tournaments happening yet. So we thought we'd give you a little preseason video, a bit of a different fun episode with some juicy content, questions, some other, I guess, yeah, paddle related topics that we want to talk about. And also, yeah, just to let you guys know, we're back strong. We're very excited. We've got loads of things planned for this 2025. And we've got a really cool and exciting video coming at the end of Jan. It's going to be something new, something different. We won't tell you exactly what it is yet, but we think you guys will love it.
Yes.
Um,
To give a little clue, you might hear their voices when you watch a bit of Premier Paddle. And
yes.
that's all I'm going to say without giving too much. That's a little sneaky leak from us. And
Easter egg.
we'll leave it from there.
Yeah.
But we're super, super excited about it.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Let's get into it. First of all, tell me, how are you, Connor? How was your break? What's going on?
Classic. It was classic, man. Honestly, it was a bit of family time, eating a bunch of food, having a nice time. One of our loveliest Christmases that I've had with my family. They just moved over to London, so
Nice.
it was
Glad to
very
hear, man.
wholesome. Also, I went to Andorra as well for my first time skiing. I tried that out.
We
which
were there
was,
at the same time.
We were.
We didn't plan it, but we were there at the
That's
same time.
it's just how fate works, apparently.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Hugh didn't get to see me fall on my ass a bunch of times skiing. Possibly one of the most humbling things I've ever done.
Mhm.
Standing at the end of like a little baby slope,
Yeah.
not even going up this magic carpet. I think
Yeah.
that's what you guys call it. And seeing like literal 4-year-olds shred next to me. So
But it was your first time.
yeah,
It's difficult. It's not easy. It's not an easy sport to learn. So.
dude, there's like muscles in my body that I've never used before
Yeah.
trying to do this
Yeah.
fucking pizza thing and whatever. But it's not gonna be my last
Pizza
time.
French fries.
Pizza French fries, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm telling everyone that I know that I'm always more of a snowmobile guy. So if you're out there and resonate with me,
You might be ripping it with the.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Christmas was lovely, man. New Year's was even better, and I'm just super excited for 2025, but also for off court as well, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to hear a little bit about yourself as well. How was
Yeah,
yours?
good, man. I'm good. Been the break was really nice. Went back home as well. Had some lovely times with the fam and got to see some friends. Played some paddle back in Spain, which was really cool. Also went to Andorra, and well, we have a present
Yes.
for us, I guess for you guys as well in some way, but something that we teased in our last episode, in the fourth episode. A friend of mine who is, well, I'll just show you.
Yeah. Sorry if you're an audio listener only, but we'll tell you exactly what is in Hugh's
So
hand. Hugh,
we've
tell
got
us.
this, which is a signed Counter Viper racket signed by Coqui Nieto himself, the winner of the Premier Paddle Barcelona Finals, the 2024 season. I mean, yeah, it's so cool that we got this. A friend of mine who works with Coqui Nieto was able to gift this to me as like a birthday present, and we've got his little signature here.
Yeah.
We've also got it up here, and this is something that we're gonna add to the collection. Just so you guys know, it's an unplayable paddle racket, because
Yes.
it's, I mean, I'll give it a go, see if it does anything, but I don't know if you guys can hear, but it's like a
Yeah.
hammer. It's incredibly, it's really hard. So when they were making rackets for Koki, they usually do like a batch.
Yeah.
You know, they customize them for the pro players, obviously. And this one just came out wrong, and it was way too hard. He couldn't play with it. So, yeah. But it's a good addition to our collection, so I'm just going to pop it there.
Yeah, it's gonna belong back here now, and unfortunately, because of its conditions, that it,
Hence the empty space there in the middle.
yeah. Now we can enjoy it and flex on you guys a little bit, and we have a little bit of real life merge from the paddle world. So we're super happy about that. And thank you very much to Hugh's friend as well, who hooked us up with
Yeah.
this. That's super, super
Shout out
cool.
Enrique Valdez.
Exactly. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
there we go. But yeah, how cool is that, guys?
Yeah.
Look at it back there.
It looks so cool.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
And I actually really like this design. Kind of looks like Bumblebee from Transformers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I've got a bone to pick with Babolat's design team, but
Yeah.
I won't get into it now, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, wait, we have one little tiny thing. Do you want to add it on as well? Your little.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
wanna
completely
talk about
forgot.
that?
We've got
I don't know if you can see it. I think it might be out of focus, but if you want to bring it a bit closer, maybe some of you guys have read this one. I haven't done it yet. This is Hughes.
So this is a little Christmas present I also got from Talon, one of our friends, Connor and I's friends. The Paddle Player's Bible, a book about just like paddle tactics, exercises, and also some weird, like, I guess, industry predictions like AI mixed with paddle. I don't know, something weird, but things to add to the collection.
It's a nice stocking filler. I think there's a few. Who is it? I think it's Belastagin also has a book written based on paddle as well, and that's something I've been considering picking up as well.
Oh yeah, it's his biography.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of literature out there, but
Yeah,
maybe
apparently Coello's read it like 5 times or something.
Oh
he
wow!
said.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, if he's read it 5 times, I kind of want to see what Koya's Goodreads
Yeah.
is and see if he's actually like a big reader or
Yeah,
not. But
yeah.
but yeah,
So-
those are our 2 little toys or little collections that we get to add to our show this
Mhm.
year, guys. So
Yeah.
that's super cool. But
So before yes, let's just continue, I guess. Today we'll be covering, well, we'll start with our classic icebreaker, which is going to be our paddle goals for 2025. I want to hear
Yes.
about what Connor has planned paddle wise for 2025. And then we're going to get into a new segment that we're excited to present, a new initiative, which is Off Court Asks, which is
Yes.
basically us answering, commenting, debating on your Instagram and Reddit questions and thoughts, everything related to paddle. We posted some questions for you guys, or we
Yeah.
asked you to tell us what you think about the 2025 season, your own paddle journeys, etc., pairings, and all the rest. And we're gonna cover that today.
Exactly.
So a bit of a fun one.
we just want to interact with you guys, and we want to hear a little bit more from your side. And we've been lurkers on the Reddit for a long time now, and there's always a few interesting posts that get there, and a lot of discussion, and that's generally like what we love the most, is just seeing a lot of discussion on paddle
And
so,
engaging with the fans in the community is
Exactly.
also really cool. Take us away,
Exactly.
Connor.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's start off with our paddle goals.
Mhm.
Nothing too crazy. I think obviously a general one is to keep playing as much as I was playing towards the end of
Mhm.
last year, which is nice. A little expensive, but I think the trade-off of, socializing, going out and playing, doing a little bit of fitness, and getting that feeling of like, smashing the ball. That's what gets me. Call me low IQ. I don't know. I like to hit ball is nice, and yeah, definitely I think there's some improvements that I want to focus on a little
Mhm.
bit. Generally I don't like we should come up with a cool name from it, but like I'm not like a mosquito flying around from partner to partner. I genuinely like to play with my friends first of all, but kind of build on like a strategic side of knowing how we work together, and I really enjoy that, and I really like figuring that out. But if I focus in on myself, definitely, I'll admit it, I see myself playing a lot of flat shots a lot of the time, which is
Mhm.
perfectly fine. But on my overhead volleys, if you want to call them the bandejas or the viboras, probably more on the bandeja. I want to be seeing a little bit more spin. I want to see that ball ping off the back of the glass a little bit and kind of get that that snake-like motion. And generally, kind of my positioning, when to push, when to play a little bit defensive,
Yeah.
and really it's just kind of reinforce the basics of paddle, right? To play for the net first, and then make sure that I can kill
Yeah.
the ball when I'm at the net.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't have any big plans of getting like a bull paddle sponsorship or reaching the top 100 ranked UK players. I know where I sit with this, and I'll keep it fun.
No, but I was gonna say, well, you guys obviously, well, maybe someone has seen you play, but I know that you've been playing for, I mean, what's it been, like a year and a half now? Or
Over a year and a yeah,
over
around
a year and a half, which to be fair isn't super long,
No.
and it's not like we're playing. It's not that we're training. It's not that we're playing every single day. We play whenever we can.
Mm-hmm.
We're also in London. It's very expensive. But I just wanted to say, I've watched you play recently, and you've gotten so much better
Oh,
since you started.
thank you, Hugh.
Yeah, like huge improvements. We've actually got a game in like a
Few
little bit,
hours.
in like a few
It's a
hours.
fun one. It's with our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, to add on to that, I think Hugh was actually there during my first ever time stepping on a paddle
Yeah,
court.
literally.
And prior to that, I think maybe we spoke about it, and we won't go into it for too much detail. But my only racket experience prior to that was squash. Right, I've
Mhm.
never hit a tennis ball, in a game competitively. Right,
Yeah.
and stepping on that court, gosh, like a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a mind fuck a little bit of just being like, oh my god, this is insane, and we get to play off the back of the glass. This
Yeah.
is just
This
too
is
much.
crazy. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I appreciate that, man, and it's cool that we
Keep
can see
going because
these
you've.
these
Yeah.
gains basically, and yeah, we want to keep getting there, and
Yeah.
we want to reach that next level on
Yeah.
Playtomic and
Yeah.
keep that grind going, and
Yeah.
yeah, those are my
Mhm.
personal paddle journeys. I want to hear yours as well.
Yeah, so I guess for 2025, I guess a few things. First of all, I'd love to take some lessons.
Me
I've
too.
never I've never taken like an actual paddle lesson in my life. And I know it would make a huge difference. If any of you guys have do them regularly or have taken them, I'm sure you can confirm that. If not, I definitely recommend it because I've talked to a lot of people who have started taking paddle lessons, and the difference is massive. You
Hmm.
learn a lot more, and they can correct like mistakes that you don't even know you make, and it's like little details that good coaches are able to correct very easily. And also, I've like found comfort in playing on the forehand now. I started playing on the
Welcome to my side, baby. I love it.
I'm used to playing on the backhand, and the past few months I've been transitioning, and I feel like it fits my style a lot better. So I really want to get my bibodas a lot better.
Hmm.
My overheads, which is like probably like one of the two most important shots for a forehand player would be, I mean, a lot of them, but I guess for me the two main ones are overhead, so like bibora bandeja or a hybrid, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
and the backhand volley, which
Yes.
I feel like it still floats. Mine still floats a little bit. I want to get it more. It's still like sort of
Yeah,
does
you get
that.
that parabellum. I think that's what it's called. The
The
little
the
arch.
the parabola,
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the arch, and it's like they're not very poisonous. They're
Yeah.
not very. I don't punish a lot with my backhand volley, which I'd like to do. So yeah, those would be I guess my main paddle goals, and just play as much as I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Obviously,
Without
yeah,
becoming bankrupt, I think.
exactly. Yeah,
That's
ideally, yeah,
but it's all worth it, and it seems like we've got a nice year
yeah,
for us in store
yeah,
for our own paddle journey. So,
definitely.
so yeah. Also, let us know what yours are. If there's anything that you guys want to work on in
Mhm,
2025, if you also want to take lessons, I think that's a great idea. By the
mhm.
way, um, well, I'll give you some lessons later. Actually, man, I've got a few tips that I can
We'll
give you.
see. We'll see.
But yeah, should we kind of get into our next segment? I think we're gonna call it off court asks.
Yeah.
I don't know if our editor is gonna give us a cool little logo. If not, no worries. That's totally fine. But yeah, we've kind of scoured, as Hugh said already. I won't repeat him too much, but we've scoured kind of every corner of the internet that we have access to,
Mhm.
and yeah, we just kind of wanted to hit people with some questions, or let them hit us with some questions, more like. And we kind of want to hear your thoughts. We want to share our thoughts a little bit on it. Maybe we agree with them, maybe we don't.
Mhm.
So let's do it one by one. Should I
Mhm.
start off with the top
Let's do it.
juiciest one that we've got?
Yeah.
And okay, let's do it. So we're going to be reading these off, but let's go with number one.
It was Instagram, this one, right?
Yeah,
We're
it's-
going to start with Instagram and then get into Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for the people on Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, drop us a follow. We've been growing so well.
Yes.
And maybe if we want to do this again, you can ask your own questions and be part of our next
Mhm.
episode. All right. So this one's a good one.
Mhm.
Juan Lebron will drop out of the top 10 rankings this year.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, yeah, starting off strong. I guess I'll just go straight in with, I guess, my opinion. Like, I think it's a valid, I guess, question. It's not a question, it's a statement.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
but I think it is something that is on people's minds, people who watch professional paddle, like what's going to happen with LeBron. He went from being number one for 4 years, being like, if not the best, like one of the best players in the world. He still is, but like he was top two, top three. He's gone down now. He had a few years ago, his elbow injury, and now his smashes aren't the same. Yes, however, I have I have a lot of confidence in this new pairing with Stupa. I think LeBron and Stupa can do marvelous things for the Premier paddle scene. He's going back to the right, as we've said in our last episode, where he is strongest. And I personally think if I had to bet right now, I'm going to say he will not drop from the top 10 rankings this year. What that will depend on will be his mentality, I
Yeah,
think.
if their egos clash, then it's a whole
Yeah.
other thing,
Because
right?
Stupa isn't. He's not Dineno. I think he's still he's a chill guy, but he can be a bit of a hothead sometimes. We've seen like the LeBron Paquito when they go like,
Yeah, when they get
like
heated.
when they get heated, that's just like a recipe for a disaster. But yeah, I don't think he will drop out of the top 10 this year.
I think regardless of their performance, whether their egos clash, I think it's a bit of a safe bet that dropping out of the top 10 is a pretty like massive loss. And
Yeah.
okay, maybe they realize this isn't the partnership that they thought it
Mhm.
was gonna be.
Mhm.
Dropping out of the top 10 is it's not. It's to me there's too many. There's a couple of other pairings that I'm like LeBron and Stupa could play like dogs, and they'll still stay in the top 10.
Yeah.
Man, I think the level that they
Yeah.
both can play at, even individually,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a team sport, but I think I'll put my money on that.
Yeah.
They're not going to drop out of top 10 regardless of the outcome. Maybe even if they go, okay, we're not doing that again, that sucked.
Yeah.
I think dropping out of the top 10 is still a bit of a bold
Yeah.
prediction, right?
I have confidence that they'll have trouble, I think, because as going in as they'll be going in most tournaments where Golden Boys and Chingalan play, they are number 3 seeds,
Mhm.
and they will be going into those tournaments as number 3 seeds, which means that they will face either pair number 1 or pair number 2 in the semis.
Yeah.
So reaching finals could be.
They're gonna have a tough time.
They're gonna have a tough time, but I mean, everyone's gonna have a tough. Like, reaching a final is like, it's not because it's LeBron or Stupa or whoever. It's like you have to face Chingalan or
Yeah.
Coello Tapia, which is it's just maybe in 2025 they just show up and
Yeah.
they've like they're like cyborgs now or something. I don't know. Maybe this preseason they're like we don't know. Hopefully
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. But yeah. Let's move on to the second question. Do you think also from Instagram, do you think the paddle will ever be in the Olympics?
Good question. Obviously, we'd love to see paddle in the Olympics. I will say that I'm pretty confident it's not going to be in the next Olympics in LA, right?
2028.
As I mentioned earlier in the episode, I grew up playing squash, super young, and my squash coach at the time was like sort of like always tormented that squash was never put into the Olympics, and the fact that squash is now in the going to be in the LA Olympics in 2026, and the fact that it just got there, and the history of squash and the legacy it had. Yeah, it doesn't give me a lot of confidence, but I will say maybe in Brisbane for the Olympics after that.
2032? Yeah.
2032, which just
2032.
sounds so foreign
Yeah.
to us right now. Will I think, to answer your question, will I think it will ever be in the Olympics? Yes. I
Yes.
think it will eventually be in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Will it be there anytime soon? Gosh, I hope it's sooner than later, but to be honest, I don't think it's going to be in the next two Olympics, which almost takes us a decade away, right? I still think paddle has so much space to grow in and to become, that sport that everyone is just as excited as we are already to watch it. I also mentioned to Hugh that, paddle does feel like that sport where you don't need to know a lot about it to really enjoy the eye candy and the experience of, like, especially on a fast court, of sort of like, the tenacity that paddle has and the entertainment levels that paddle has. I also compared it to like one of those sports where, you probably won't ever watch the professional league or whatever, but if it's the Winter Olympics, for example, you'll be sitting there watching curling or any other random, in the Paris Olympics, everyone loved the pistol shooting. I forgot what the name of the event is. And you watch.
I
those
didn't even
weird-
know that was a sport.
Yeah. We all know that. We'll flash that Turkish guy up. He was an absolute boss. But I could so see people being that's going to be their gateway drug into paddle, right?
Yeah.
They see it in the Olympics and they go, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
It's you know, we kind of know all the characteristics of it, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
don't know
mean,
if you want to add on to
yeah,
that as
yeah. I'll
well.
just add something brief. Yeah, I think as well. At some point, we will see them in the Olympics. I think definitely we won't see them in LA 2028. Maybe Brisbane 2032. And the thing is, I guess the thing that I wanted to touch upon is like, if you look at the World Cup, which could be, it's like it would be kind of like equivalent to the Olympics, right? Because it would be it is by countries.
Yeah, and every 4 years.
Still, like, there has never been a different final, I think, other than Argentina versus Spain.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it still needs time for it to be like entertaining and competitive in the Olympics. I think it still needs maybe, Brisbane 2032. The sport has grown enough. I'm not too sure. So that, somewhere like Italy, France, countries like the Middle East
Yes.
can bring in some like big players that
Mhm.
can actually, do things. Other players that are changing nationalities now, like Inigo Jofre, who's Spanish but playing for UAE.
Yeah.
Like maybe if stuff like that happens, then it can be a bit more competitive, and maybe Spain or Argentina see themselves challenged by another
By
country.
other Spanish and Argentinian players from the Middle
From
East.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's
So
move on into third question.
this one's pretty straightforward. New shots? Question mark.
Which-
Are there any new shots that could be introduced? Are there any sort of hybrid shots that are coming,
Mhm.
more popular? I guess.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm not too sure how I feel about it because I feel like there's a fine line between like new actual tactical shots that you can implement in your game and precisely knowing when to use them versus like, I don't know, cool trick shots
Yeah.
that you see like, I don't know, Talito pull off that,
Yeah.
not many people can do.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear what Hugh also has to think. Really, if there's any sort of strategic, gain
Yeah.
here to introducing new shots, what would they be?
I guess strategically speaking, the most recent change we've seen, which has already happened, so this isn't anything new, would be this like how the bandeja is now sort of it's being abandoned. The last player to really use a bandeja, like an actual bandeja, would be, I think, Belasteguin was was that he's like old school player.
Yeah.
Right now, it's skewing more towards this hybrid defensive bibora that can then turn into, if they give it more spin and power, into like a standard bibora. But there aren't really any more bandejas happening. It's more of like a bandeja bibora hybrid. So something equivalent to that. I don't think so. Not for now. Maybe not for like something that will be introduced in 2025. But I recently saw like this clip that kind of went viral in the social media paddle world, where this guy's like, he's been trying out his super like powerful topspin forehand from the back of the court, where you can actually kick smash it off the court. Only with that. And then he posted that video where it was just like a training video. All the comments were like, you're like, how will you ever use this in a real match? This will never work, blah blah. And then he did like a repost of the comments, and then him filming himself using it in a few matches. They weren't like, he wasn't like, smashing them off the court, but he did sort of like surprise his rivals with a super powerful like topspin slap forehand, which it turned into a winner because very difficult to return.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe something like incorporating more topspin, because topspin now we only see it in like chiquitas.
Yeah.
But like proper like topspin shots like tennis could be something that come back.
Yeah.
Like the other day, we didn't play together, but we watched each other's games, and I played against this guy who was drop shotting me on the serves.
Dude, it was like 30-40, and it's like he's drop shotting then, and I'm like, that's such a scummy.
It worked once, and then the rest he just netted them. But I was like, that's interesting. And then I saw another video of this guy. It wasn't a massive lob, but it was kind of like a lobby serve.
Yeah.
Which was quite uncomfortable to return. Shots like that, I think, I don't know how, like, professionally speaking, I don't know how effective they are, but
Yeah. I think when you go against your average Joe at your local club and you give them one of the weird unexpected lobs that they're not used to, yeah, okay, you probably get
So
the
annoying.
advantage, and it's so annoying. But you're probably pulling those moves because you're losing, and
Yeah.
you have to try some new things sometimes. And if it works out like that, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it. But yeah, definitely let's move on to the next
Let's
question.
do it. All right, so let's get into the next question. Fourth question, Instagram. Have you ever seen anyone cry after a paddle match?
I don't know. I don't
I
know
haven't.
who. I hope I haven't. I don't know how I'd feel if I saw someone cry, to be honest. But
Quite an uncomfortable situation, no? If it was like just a random Playtomic on like a, you know, Sunday afternoon or
yeah,
something, like a chill game, and someone was like bawling their eyes out. It'd be-
I think they've got some other shit in life going on, and
Yeah.
it's not us, and not losing to us.
No.
I've never personally seen it. I haven't felt like crying after losing a game, but your
No.
emotions are high, I guess. But
Maybe
uh,
someone. I don't know.
no. I mean, we won't go too into it, but we're dipping into the Reddit questions later. I'm a bit of a lurker on the paddle subreddit, and you get a few interesting times. And if I can find it, I'll flash it up here. But it was some guy who would basically like purposefully make new Playtomic accounts, so he could play against people that he's found that have had
Yeah.
like 15 game winning streaks, and
But
he
these players would play against really low ranked players so that they would basically get the win.
yes.
He was a really good player. He created a fake profile with like a super low rating
Yes.
so that he could show up to these games as the noob
Yes.
and destroy them basically.
Yeah, and I forgot the name of the title of the post, but he was like, "Do I have an addiction to beating people on Playtomic?"
And like
it,
enjoying seeing
it-
people cry
it felt like reading a serial killer's manifesto. I'll be honest, like it was just this like so like
because he made like the woman cry. Didn't
yes,
he?
yeah, and eventually that he was playing against a lady and she cried. So
Yeah.
I don't know how he feels at night when going to sleep.
I
I
don't
would
know.
feel like a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, a
but
bit of a psycho.
but yeah, that's the only time I've heard
Yeah.
anyone cry on the court. I've never actually. Maybe someone would cry if you experience a bad injury. We've all seen those videos on Instagram.
Yeah,
where,
surely.
Like, your like little band snaps off and whacks your partner in the head type of thing.
Yeah.
We've all been hit in the ball in the face with a ball a few times. You could get one of those eye waterers. I don't know. Now I'm
Yeah.
just thinking of ways you could leak water from your eyes on the
Yeah.
paddle court. In short, none of us have seen anyone
No.
cry on the paddle court.
I hope I don't.
And I hope I don't.
Yeah.
We both cry later today. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Number 5.
Yes. Do either of you play paddle? And if you do, where? Yes, believe it or not, we play paddle.
play paddle.
We started this podcast without ever playing paddle once.
No.
Just kidding. Yeah, of course we play. We play in London. We predominantly, without giving, we're not going to dox ourselves.
Nah.
But yeah, we play in like West London, I guess, primarily.
Yeah. We've got like I've got like 2 main clubs that I play at.
Yeah.
Earl's Court,
Yes.
Paddle Social.
Paddle Social Club,
which,
yeah.
Which doesn't have indoor paddle
Yeah.
social if you're
But now with
listening.
Stormzy as an investor, I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
if you guys have heard this.
Just put a roof over it.
Just
put
put
a roof.
please
Just so that
put
at
a
least
roof.
when it rains we can play, even though
Yes.
it's humid and the ball's still
We're
not gonna...
we're literally begging you to give you guys more money. Please, Stormzy, if you're watching, if you're a fan of Off Court,
Yeah.
build some roofs over it because we'd love it. Obviously, in summer, it's a gem of a place
Yeah.
because it's also probably one of the biggest beer gardens in
Yeah.
in the area. So if you also like to have a drink or just have
Yeah.
a nice time to chat with mates, it's a
Yeah.
great place. If we want to take it ourselves too seriously, we go play in Chiswick, where there's
Rocks Lane Chiswick, which
Yeah.
is a great club.
Yeah.
Super nice. They've got indoor courts there, outdoor as well.
a singles court as well,
And
which
that's
is very weird.
And I just kind of like that
Yeah.
club because I feel like the people that there's obviously all levels, but there are some really good. I've had some really good games at Rocks Lane. You
Yes.
know, at the communities there is nice. They've
Yeah.
they've done up the indoor now. They've put like an extra, like attached
It's like
roof
ski
place.
cabin vibes.
Ski
a
cabin
little
vibe
bit.
with like heaters and some sofas, which is like amazing. So yeah, those 2 are the main ones.
Yeah, we
where
normally play there. We'd,
Yeah.
maybe it kind of adds to our goals a little bit. But I'd love to check out the other paddle clubs, especially in East London. You got Rocket Paddle in Ilford.
And dude, and Padium, Canary Wharf.
Well, I'm not
which-
paying to go there. I'll be
No,
honest.
but I just want to go and see it because apparently it's sick.
But Padium, if you're watching, let us do an episode there
Yeah.
or something, man.
Yeah.
And but yeah, definitely. That's for those that don't know, it's in the financial district of London.
Yeah.
So I think their demographic is people with those type of salaries.
Yeah.
um,
Not us.
and not us. Unfortunately, we're not finance pros. But yeah, that's kind of where we play, and we do play. So believe it or not, we do enjoy talking about it, but we probably enjoy playing
Yeah.
it a bit more.
Exactly.
You want to hit us with the next
Yeah,
one?
let's do it. Number 6. Do you think that new rules will be implemented to shorten games, like the golden point? Great question, actually. I think I don't know if they. I think maybe yes. I would say yes. I don't know if they will implement it this year,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely because some games just go on forever. I think it adds like an extra layer of excitement
Yeah.
to the game. Paquito
Yeah.
talked about this. And I personally think that they should add the golden point in tournaments like with slower courts.
Oh yeah. That's a
Because
great
those are
idea.
the ones that suffer, like the Barcelona finals. I don't know if you guys watched the Come With Me that I did. Every single game went to 3 sets, 12 hours. Like golden point in that in that tournament would have been amazing.
Yeah.
It would have shortened games, and it's just like, yeah, it's fun and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they will. I would personally like to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't have the trauma in my eyes as Hugh did, spending 12 hours at the Barcelona finals and actually like experiencing, sitting through every moment of the game. Obviously, we love watching paddle, but I'm also a big fan of making entertainment and that sort of side of paddle, at its highest, and that's what's going to get paddle to that sort of next level of like enjoyment, right?
Yeah.
And that sort of like global on a global level. That sort of notoriety, I guess. And yeah, if it can make the game more interesting, that's why when I saw that clip of Paquito, I was the fact that there is like one of the what I call him legends of paddle advocating for this. He's probably got the most insight out of most of us people talking about it, let alone he's the one playing professionally. So you know what, I'll back Team Paquito on this, and if you think it's going to make the game more interesting,
I think we
I'm
agree
down
on this. Yeah.
Yeah, we do agree on it. It's kind of
And
we
he
have the
also
same
said he
opinion.
mentioned like the more indoor courts so that no one dies of heat stroke.
Yes.
There was a bunch of things that he said like I really hope Premier Paddle does this. But yeah. Number 7, Connor.
LeBron is going downhill and you can do nothing about it. Or is this year the one for him after his 2 years of downhill?
Another LeBron
Another
question.
LeBron fanboy.
I mean, we've all kind of already covered it.
Yeah, we'll cover it quick. We're at the point now where we can say anything, and it's either gonna be the best year for LeBron or the worst. We all want to see him succeed and make the sport more competitive. It seems like LeBron really hasn't lost his fan base. I'll be honest. We can all hear you guys going like cheering the wolf, woo, yeah. So, you know what? It's too much to predict. I have a lot of faith. I think Stupa and LeBron, without repeating ourselves from the earlier question, are fantastic players, guys. They're professional players.
Yeah.
They aren't going to come together, and they've obviously thought about what they would be like as a pairing, right?
Yeah.
They're it's not like they're going to rock up on the first tournament going, oh shit, like this doesn't actually feel good. They're going to play together. That's why they ended up as a pairing. So yeah, that's my kind of take on it. Yeah. And
I do think that I will say, and I've said it before, I do think that LeBron's prime is gone, and I don't think he will return to that prime that we saw of him. But I don't think he's going downhill. I think he still has a lot to show. I think he still has a lot to play for.
Mm-hmm.
He can still fight for that number 1. I'm not sure if he can reach it. But yeah, I think personally, as I said, I think pairing with Stupa will be a positive one, and it will be one of the best pairing decisions he's made since leaving Galan.
Yeah.
Because he's been with Dineno, he's been with Paquito. I think with Stupa, who's at an all-time like level now, I think it'll be good. But I wouldn't say he's going downhill. I think we'll still see a lot of LeBron, but yeah, not his prime.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it's easy to jump on that bandwagon of like this is gonna be the end, but we'll see, guys. We'll see. Anyway, next question.
Who has the best nickname in paddle?
Great one.
Okay.
That's great.
So like their
little
AKAs, they're AKAs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the boxers, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's the boxers and like the NBA players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a sport that like it's not a sport, sorry, but it's one of the reasons why when I first got into paddle, I was like,
Hmm.
that's so sick. Like they
Hmm.
have cool little nicknames.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And my two favorite are. I'll start off with the ladies first. I,
Okay.
I love Magic Ari. I think that's like the
Yeah.
coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like Magic Ari is like it's like Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something about it. And at the time she was playing with this like black and gold racket. And
Yeah.
I'd say that's my favorite nickname for the ladies. But for
Okay.
the men's, which is a little bit tight, but I'll have to go. I think it's correct me if I'm wrong. El Rato.
El ratón.
Yes, it's
Chingoto.
Chingotos. Yeah, the
The
mouse.
mouse.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
exactly. I
mouse.
think that's like the
Yeah.
funniest thing ever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
fact that
It really
he's
suits him.
one of the smallest guys on the circuit, right? But
Yeah.
he kind of wears
Yeah.
it on his sleeve type
Yeah.
of thing, and I respect that. And you know what? He kind of moves like that as
Yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
that's his style. So
Yeah.
those are my two favorite nicknames for Premier Paddle players.
I think for me, women's, it's got to be La Vikinga,
Yeah, go on. Yeah,
Osorio. I think
Yes.
that's like.
she's
I think it's like it's a really, it's like a bold, nickname. It's like
100%.
it's because like I think it's a physical,
Yeah.
resemblance. Because she does look like a Norse.
She's got some DNA,
warrior.
Viking
Yeah, yeah,
DNA
yeah.
descendant thing.
I don't know. Well, I mean, she's Argentinian, but I mean, yeah, Argentinians have like there's loads of
Yeah.
mixes there. So yeah, so I think La Vikinga for Osorio,
100%.
and in the men's, not gonna surprise anyone, but I just think, just because of the poeticness of the name, I think El Mozart for
Okay.
Tapia. I think it's the violin, but yeah, the fact that they call him, because he's like the Messi of paddle, and that
Yeah.
he just surprises you every game with like new skills and shots and stuff and trick shots. I think that the parallel, between the best musician of all time,
Yeah.
and I think it's really cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
El Mozart, I would
I'll,
say.
I'll give you that as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are. Let us know what your favorite nicknames as well
Mhm.
are, guys. So
Yeah.
let's move on to the next question here. This is just another
It
statement.
just says, yeah.
More paddle courts in London. We agree. More is better.
Yes.
Ideally, if they're indoor as well, because considering 80%
Yeah.
of the year our weather is doo doo. So
And they're fully booked most of the time, so
Yes.
it would be nice to have more offer.
yes,
Yeah.
especially if you could build them about like a 5-minute walk from where I
Yeah.
live, that's even better.
Mhm.
But yeah, more paddle courts. We agree. Good take.
Good
Let's
take.
go.
Absolutely. Let's get into Reddit now.
Yes, yeah.
So one of them says, I don't think Brea Fernandez pairing is gonna be all that it set out to be. Sorry, no, not
No, not
Brea. Bea Gonzalez. Gonzalez Fernandez pairing is gonna be all that it set out to be. Okay. I go for it. Go for it. You go first.
That's
Yeah.
that's a hot take, and that's a take that I can get behind as well.
Mhm.
I think I
Why?
also think why? Yeah, good question, because it is mean, but gosh, Bea picked up so many injuries last year, and
Mhm.
it kind of
Yeah.
sucks to pick on not the weak one, but it's easy at this point of the year to go, gosh, man, the amount of tournaments that Delphi had to sit out, including the
I mean,
Barcelona
I
finals.
think that's one of the main reasons why Delphi decided to separate. Right?
Yeah, right. And Claudia is genuinely one of my favorite players, and to see her play with Gemma for the whole last season was an incredible pairing. And I wasn't necessarily shocked that they're splitting ways, but definitely they're a strong force to go up against Sanchez and Jose Maria, right? So I am a little bit skeptical, and I'll also jump on that bandwagon if it turns into one of these things where Bea has more injuries coming her way, and Claudia has to sit on the sideline, and her rankings drop. Yeah, that's genuinely a thought that I've had as well. And in terms, let's forget injuries aside, how would they play together if they're both on form? Could be incredibly dangerous. So you know what? I'll take that. Yeah, the injuries are scary for me, but if they find that groove, if they find now they're both playing with they're both young as well, right? They don't have that sort of like apprenticeship type of thing with Triai, and maybe Delphi's not that much older, but yeah, they've kind of soaked up all of their experiences and knowledge from the last season or two from playing with more experienced players. Let's see how they can take it on. I'm excited to watch them, but yeah, I am a little bit skeptical. So I agree with this Reddit comment. So what's your take?
I agree with what you're saying. But I kind of disagree as well, because I think it will come more. So I agree with the statement, but I think the reason that they're not going to be all that it's set out to be is what you just touched upon now. I feel like Triay Fernandez was such a good. We've talked about this before, but I really enjoy and I really think it's a great idea to have the sensei and apprentice pairings. Claudia is incredible. She's
Yeah.
really, really good, but she's so young.
Yeah.
She's so young. And I do feel like even after watching her live, that reinforced it even more. Like, I do think her mental needs a lot of work. She's like, what, she's 18? 18, 19? I think that yeah, it's normal, you know. She hasn't like fully matured yet and she hasn't played professionally for a super long time. So I feel like that Triay crutch, apart from Triay being an incredible player, just like she could carry that team from a mental
Mm.
from the mental side of things. I don't have the same feeling with Bea Gonzalez. You know, I think even though Bea Gonzalez is, you know, still older than her and does have like quite a bit more experience than her, I don't think they can. I don't know. I just have this like weird feeling where they won't like mesh really well.
Yeah.
Whereas if I look at Delphi and Gemma, I feel like they will.
Oh, they're gonna be
I
scary,
feel
man.
like that's such a good pairing.
They're gonna be scary.
And it's like it's the they didn't have. I feel like it's so that the ones that are benefited are Gemma and Delphi
yeah.
because they are the ones that decided to make that joint. And then you're like, obviously, you know, understand me when I say this. You're left with the scraps. They were kind of like not forced, but you know, the Bea and Claudia had to. They didn't have to, but you know, they were like, well, I guess we might as well just
swap it over like that.
join forces. So you know, it's not a very motivated
Yeah.
pairing, if you get what I mean. you
Yeah,
know?
just reading this question though, it has made me really excited for the season to
Oh,
start.
yeah,
there. Like
absolutely.
I can't wait for their first few games
Mhm.
together and see how far they get in the. I think Saudi's the first tournament, so
Mhm.
let's see how it is. Yeah, we kind of share the same skepticism with this person who
Mhm.
left us this comment. And it's something that we have to see until they go on the court
Yeah.
and play themselves.
They might surprise us though.
You
We'll
know
see.
what I'll
Hopefully.
I hope for that as well. So we'll see. Let's go on to the next question here.
Yeah,
which
last
is,
question.
It's our last question. Okay,
Mhm.
sweet. We're doing okay. We got a
Yeah.
bit nervous going through all the questions
Yeah.
in a decent amount of time. Let us know if you guys like the longer episodes, or maybe
Yes.
if you prefer something shorter, we could try do some stuff like that in the future.
Mhm.
You know, I'm looking at this like 45 minutes in for the people like, let us know if you want a short episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go with the last question.
Mhm.
If Tapia doesn't leave Spain and join Coello in Miami, they're done. I doubt they keep being the untouchables with not the same amount of training together. And Stupa LeBron can be number one. Stupa with the offensive drive like LeBron is dangerous, and also Chingalan is Chingalan. So that's kind of like a triple
Mhm.
whammy statement here. So if we pick it apart a little bit.
But I mean, but yeah, it sort of introduces the like a very important thing that has happened, I think, in the paddle world, which is that Arturo Coello has confirmed now that he will be living or like living as an athlete in Miami for the 2025 season. He's been usurped by the it's like reserve, but it's like apparently it's reserve.
That's like
Reserve
the most Miami American
it's
thing
this
ever.
like new brand.
I mean, what's his
Miami.
name? Shout out Rob Wage, the guy who runs Weird.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Sorry, we didn't get your name right, but he's straight out of like an evil villain comic book where he's just like full tracksuit all the time. He's like, yeah, you want money? What? I don't know if you guys saw like Koye's vlog, but like, you know, he's like, make sure Koye's got all the machines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just Jesus Christ, man. Like, how much money can you throw at this? Which I think, you know, not to detract from the question.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like a lot of money's being thrown around with this.
Yeah,
so
a lot.
Whether that's you know, we won't go too much into like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
speculations of tax and stuff like that, but really it seems like a great business partnership more than you know, a strategic one to improve the gameplay of Coello and Tapia.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hugh has some things to say on you know, maybe a little bit of behind the scenes of how these players actually train, right?
Yeah.
If you want to take us away.
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. And I think just before that, as you were saying, like let's just sort of break down really quickly, like the reasons for this move or why we think this move. So first of all, definitely, I think it's a economic tax motivation. Like they're probably paying him a lot of money.
Yes.
Florida is one of the most slack states
There's
in terms of
0% income tax
0%
in
income
Florida.
tax, so that's a motivation. It's also a place where loads of athletes live. It's a cool city, lots going on, whatever. Um, but in terms of what this question is saying, this thought is that they will cease being the Golden Boys just because Coelho is living there. You guys have to, I guess, remember or understand that most of these players don't train together every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Most, I'd say, like the majority of the trainings are individual. Each player has a coach. Each player has their own coach.
Right.
And they will train as a team every once in a while to work on obviously synergies, and because they do have to train together, especially before important tournaments and stuff. But like up until 2024, Coello was training in Valladolid or Madrid,
Yeah.
wherever he's from, wherever he has his club, and Tapia was in the academy in Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, very different from Spain to the United
Miami,
States,
yeah.
but they were still like distance. It was a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
And they still train together, but the day to day is not together. And I personally think that I don't know what you think about this, but like if he said, I'm going to live to Miami, he's obviously thought about the whole training thing. Like, I don't think he'd move and then get there and be like, oh, I can't train with Tapia anymore. Yeah, I didn't think about that. They must have a plan in mind,
Yeah, yeah. I think that just kind of, reinforces it. I think we can count on our hands, how many, days of the year really their off-season training is, right?
Yeah.
Like we have the summer break and the winter break. We've all seen the calendar by now. They're living out of hotel rooms for the majority of the year. This idea that, they'll be, across countries not being able to train like, they're two lost souls at night. Good night, Tapia. You know what I mean? It's not like that. They literally spend most of the year traveling together.
Mhm.
This idea that his residency is now in Miami and, they're not going to get enough training time is, I don't think it's very relevant. I think it's probably not going to impact their partnership at all.
Mhm.
And it's just a business move from Coelho's
And
side.
also, like, don't you think? I mean, I guess if this was let's take LeBron and Stupa,
Right.
who are a new pair who have never played together. That's different. I feel like
Yes.
this this partnership does need a lot more training and being on top of it, and like because they need to get used to each other, they need to learn how each other plays, blah blah blah. They've only played against each other, but like Coello and Tapia have been together for a long time now. You've seen their 2024 season. They know how they play. Like it's not, they still need to play together sometimes, but it's not a new pairing. They already know. They're comfortable with each other. Tapia knows the shots that Coelho is going to play. They've already talked about this. It's something that they've worked on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing new.
Yeah. So I don't think this is the downfall of Coello Tapia this year. Unfortunately, even though that might make the season more interesting, I think. But yeah, I don't think this move of going to Miami is going to make a difference. So I think maybe there are a couple of other points we could have addressed there. Stupa LeBron becoming number one because of this merger with Coello and Tapia. No, this is not gonna happen.
That's not gonna be the reason for it. The fact of Coello moving to Miami, I don't think is gonna be the reason that Stupa and LeBron are gonna be number one.
Coello could get shot in the chest, and Stupa and LeBron aren't gonna become number one.
Well, yeah, I get what you mean, but I mean they could. If they do, it's not gonna be because they're not training enough. We also can't forget about Chingalan, who I think are going to come back really strong this season, and they still are number two and incredibly dangerous pairing. So.
I get a little bit of like middle child syndrome from Chingalan though, like the pairing that doesn't get enough love, but they go out of their fucking way to like prove to the audience that like they're there and they're a serious competitor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would also love to see Chingalan step up their game and put a bit more pressure. Maybe they've figured out the formula over the winter break. I don't know. Maybe they've got little dart boards of Coello and Tapia that they're just kind of like throwing darts on the back.
Like
And
shurikens.
exactly,
Yeah.
like some arch enemy type of thing.
Yeah.
But I think all we want to see is like an incredible season for next year, and
Yeah.
hopefully each year keeps getting better. But yeah, we've kind of reached the end of our questions here,
Yeah.
which has been kind of awesome actually. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
So
this was a really cool new format.
it was
I
fun.
loved it.
So if that's something you guys did enjoy as well, let us know,
Yeah.
and maybe it's something we can bring back, and maybe we could do more questions and stuff like that. But seeing that we're at the end of our questions, let's sort of round it off. We want to say thank you to you guys. Seeing all your comments and seeing the interaction over the last month has been super great, and it's just made us so excited for the 2025 season. So, we spoke a little bit about our predictions for 2025 in our last episode, but we always kind of want to hear more from you guys. Some of you guys are so active in the comments down below. So really, thank you so much for your support here. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that I've left off here, gone completely off the script that you wrote me, but all I just want to say is thanks so much, guys. It's been great.
Yeah.
Great to be back. Super cool racket back here. Let us know if you like that
Yeah.
as well. Hugh, am I missing anything? I've gone blind.
No, I mean not really. I think we've already said everything.
Yeah.
Again, let us know in the comments. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. I guess also for 2025, we're really excited about this season. As we said, we've got big plans and a really busy schedule. Let's try and get to right now we're at 1.4 on Instagram. Let's see if we can get going on Instagram at the Off Court Podcast. Let's see if we can get to 1.5 very soon and more. I mean,
Tomorrow,
if we can get to 2.5 or whatever, we'd be. Yeah, I mean,
we need to hit 10K to monetize.
And also on the YouTube, if you can subscribe as well. We're trying to hit those 500 subscribers, so if you can help us reach that goal, and we'll keep bringing some awesome content for you guys. But yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you very soon. We're gonna start with the actual season, the Premier Paddle season, with the Hexagon Cup.
I think so. Why not?
At the end of starts on the 29th till the 2nd of Feb. Little taster before the actual P1s, P2s, and majors start.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Thanks, guys.